Welcome to Texas.
Good afternoon. Finally, we got to go turkey hunting. Been chomping at the bit. Everybody else has been hunting Florida, Mississippi, Hawaii, and I've been sitting on G waiting on O, and here it is, 29th of March, and finally getting ready to kick things off. So we'll be starting this year in Texas. I'm here with my father, Dana Anderson. Doing something a little bit different than normal for me, and it's not sure how I feel about it, to be completely honest, but the public land situation in Texas is, I guess, pretty minimal, and rather than spend days of frustration, I elected to go the private land route. So I'm kind of excited about seeing that side of it, but also a little nervous about it as well, so we'll see how that goes. But I attended a book seminar in Nashville, and Cuz Strickland said, and I quote, "Ray Charles can kill a turkey in Texas." So we'll see how we make out. I'm not exactly sure if I can live up to that kind of expectation, so we'll see how it goes. All right, I am officially turkey hunting in Texas. Pretty excited about this. The trees are fairly short, fairly open in the bottom. Looks like there's some thick patches, but for the most part, everything looks the same. So I'm gonna try to slip around quietly and see if I can find a bird. Tracks, indication they're birds. See if we can put one to bed tonight, or one wants to play before that. I will welcome it. Pretty cool place, I like it. Oh, this is awesome. First day, first afternoon, we only had a couple hours. Dad's got a longbeard down. Starting out like Hawaii. He gets it done first thing. Meanwhile, I'm struggling. Honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of tracks. I did see a hen. She yelped around a little bit. What you got here?
Got a Rio Grande turkey from Texas. I was just sitting on a little hill trying to get good visibility for our first afternoon, and saw this one out in front of me. Going past, called a little bit, and he turned in, came in pretty quick.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's our second day here in South Texas, our first morning. So yesterday was really just a quick 2-hour scouting effort. And fortunately, Dad was able to get one on the board already, so that's exciting for things to come. I did not hear a turkey gobble, and it rained real hard the day prior, so any tracks that I would have seen would have been very fresh. And what I noticed was it kind of made the sand hard, and I bet a lot of these birds, it would have been very difficult to see tracks that were made. So I'm not discouraged yet. But decent weather this morning. It's cloudy, but it's gonna be calm. Which, looking at the weather in this area, it seems like wind is a very common thing. So I'm gonna take not having wind first thing this morning as a win. It's been awful quiet so far. I know they're here. Cannot imagine birds not gobbling within hearing distance of me though. little action at least, had yelped back to me and set up on her, and before too long I see her, and she seemed hung up on something. She was hung up on a fence. But I crept up a little bit so I could get a better look at her and see a bird strutting. I'm like, oh boy, like, here we go. But I'd yelp and she'd yelp, and dang if it wasn't her. She was just strutting away. Finally got a bird goblin. We actually came back to camp for lunch. And he was gobbled a couple times right there at the camp house. So making a move on him. He's gobbled 3 times that I've heard. I like it.
Welcome back, turkey season. Dad killed that one last night. Never heard it gobble. Did come to the call, but it's been quiet. This morning, off the roost, absolutely nothing. I called up a hen. She strutted, which was pretty cool. Then, a little later, called up another hen, which I think might have been the same hen. But have not heard a turkey gobble at all until we came back for lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Mainly, I just wanted to ditch my vest. It was getting too hot. And we I was eating a sandwich and sitting there at the porch, and turkey gobbles like 300 yards away. So it's like, all right, take my time, get everything set up, and I come walking down here, gobbled 3 times before I ever called to him that I heard. I think he gobbled more than that. And yeah, yelped a couple times, moved up a little bit closer, and that time he heard me, answered that, and then it didn't take long for him to come in. He was dancing with the little fence for a little bit, and I let him come by, didn't shoot him on the other side of the fence, and then he hit a point and I yelped, and then he got stuck in that spot for a long time, and I guess he had a little hole that he slipped under, because he comes back and there he is on my side, and it's like, oh, okay. So shot it like 35 yards, and fortunately my struggle with the gun camera, it was off when I went to get the bird, so I do not believe I have that kill on footage. But as I've said before, if you're following us for phenomenal turkey footage, you picked the wrong channel. We're out here to hunt, and Texas is state number 42. So I have 7 more states to go, and it's been exciting. Been very exciting. I have put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do this, and you come in and you only have a couple days in a state, even though it's Texas, and you're like, Texas is crawling with turkeys. This should be a lot of fun. This shouldn't be hard at all. And then after this morning and not hearing a turkey, you're like, oh, great. What did I get myself into? So, just thankful to be here, and thankful to get to chase these turkey gobblers, because I sure do love them.
Good morning. It's our second morning in South Texas, and a little different from yesterday. I look up and I can actually see stars, so hopefully that lasts for another couple hours, and birds actually want to talk today. Bird's pretty far off across that fence. One thing I hear, but I think they flew down at this point, and I can barely hear them anymore. I've been cranking on them, trying to see if they would engage, but they're pretty far away. So, marked a pin. I might come back later in the morning and see where they end up, but I think for right now I need to go on a quest for another bird. Been cruising the roads a lot to try to cover ground as quickly as possible. I know they walk these roads, and I haven't really been seeing a whole lot of turkey tracks, so thankful that I saw that guy. And it's going to change the direction in which I walk right now. I just spooked a gobbler. So, it's going to loop around in front of where it went. I'm going to sit down and be quiet for a little bit. Dad had a little action today. A bird gobbler that wouldn't close on him. I had the birds across the fence, and I had spooked a gobbler. But judging by that bird's gobbler tracks in the road that It's been since I've been here because it rained right before we got here. I'd say he likes this area. So, kind of feeling silly I bumped him, but at least I know he's kind of in the vicinity. Getting tripped up here pretty bad. They're barely gobbling. But gobbling, I made a pin, kind of shot across this block of wood. It's got a trail around all the way around it. So it's gonna hit the outside and come down. It sounded really far. By the time I come down to the bottom side of it, I thought I heard a bird gobble in the center of that wood block. And that sounded really far. But like the direction lined up pretty good.
So that about wraps up Texas. We've got to get back up to the airport, sending him back home. And I'll be continuing on driving now into Louisiana. Texas was a very interesting experience, to say the least, I think. Again, that was kind of the first time going that route, and it was a neat experience. I will say it definitely felt like turkey hunting, so that's a good factor of it. But didn't seem like a ton of birds there, and for some reason they weren't very talkative while we were there. A lot of low pressure days and high humidity.
Very fortunate to each come out with a bird, so we're very grateful for that.